Welcome back to Gear Check Games. This is episode 7 of our Kingdom Hearts 1.5 Special Edition PS4 I have all the bells and whistles, please play me edition.
Please buy me again for the third and maybe fourth time if you live in Japan.
Yes.
For me, it was the fourth time because I bought... Wait, no. Kingdom Hearts 1 is the only PS2 Kingdom Hearts game that I didn't buy 2 copies of.
Did they add the bloom to those lights in the HD version, or was that on PS2? Because that looks really good.
I think
they added it.
I don't remember those lights being bloomy.
So now that we've beat, like, what's the big soldier thing that we annihilated last episode?
It's the ride armor from Mega Man X.
Damn it, we
yes.
couldn't think of it last time, and now I can't think of it again. Crap.
The carry armor from Final Fantasy VII.
It's something.
Skarmory.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Gallium big armor.
The big armor. So we got rid of him,
Guard armor.
and now what I'm doing is I'm just kind of wandering around Traverse Town, picking up treasure and stuff.
Are we going to become a wizard?
Not yet.
Camping set.
We're gonna become
go on a
Harry.
nice camping trip with all your friends.
This episode brought to you by Coleman. Hey, fire up the Coleman!
I'd like to see Sword Donald and Goofy. Yeah, I'd like to see Sword Donald and Goofy actually like sharing a tent on a camping trip.
You can go camping with all of your friends as long as your friends are Donald and Goofy.
Yes.
You just walk by at night and Sora's big old clown shoes are just sticking out.
Yeah. I'm trying to get an image here.
I like the idea that we're talking about Sora,
See
Donald, and
you
Goofy all
again.
sharing like a tent and just clown shoes sticking out the end of it, and they don't belong to Goofy.
Strangely, Goofy has tiny shoes compared to Sora. Look at him.
I can't remember if we addressed this earlier, but since Donald and Goofy are missing Mickey from their trio, I think it's clever that they gave Sora's outfit kind of the color scheme of Mickey's.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the big yellow shoes, the red shorts, and kind of the black and white top.
Yeah.
So here we get into
Sometimes.
the connective tissue of all the levels in this game, the gummy ship.
Let's go, Chipper!
Welcome
Which-
to space.
I mean, it goes without saying,
honest,
but this...
I heard Nick, and I thought it was an edit that Trey put in because it popped up right when Donald opened his mouth, and it sounded like not normal. It didn't sound like any of us.
Your journey will be documented until you reach your destination. What does that even mean?
Yes. I don't know.
I can't
So
imagine
this is-
Bill Farmer saying that line.
Your journey will be documented until you reach your destination.
Goofy gets
Yeah,
a job
every-
as like a flight attendant.
Anything that happens in space stays in space.
I mean-
that's the rules.
To be
Fair
fair, Bill Farmer did say, how many cups of sugar does it take to get to the moon? So, he'll say whatever.
So, did we say that this is like a rail shooter?
Well, yeah, it's
So-
like the prototype version of Star Fox for the
Yeah.
Super Nintendo.
So here we have the Kingdom Hearts 1 version of the gummy ship segments, which, much like Spore, it's fun to like create your gummy ship,
Yes.
and that's about it.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
Well, and I would
That's
say
about
that
all that's about all there is to the game.
these levels become a little more fun once you have a better ship and you've got some decent like guns and everything, and you can move around and like actually take hits. But at this stage, and maybe the whole taking hits thing was from me playing Proud Mode, but that's kind of a different beast.
Yeah, it 100% is.
But
Yeah.
I'm playing in big wiener mode.
I don't remember ever like
So, here's a fun thing. When I was a kid, I was watching
Trey's
a Let's
just running
Play.
into stuff to like flex.
Yeah, no, I was watching a Let's Play of this game when I were a youngin', you could just hold down. So this is a fun fact about the original game. I don't know if it's still true about the final mix version, but for literally every gummy ship level in the game, if your gummy ship is like even decent, you don't have to touch your controller for the whole level. You can just hold down X and you will make it to the end of the level alive.
I mean, that sounds about right. I remember there being 2 modes of the gummy ship gameplay. having like a dinky little gummy ship, but like really easy levels, so it's not really a problem. And then having like kind of tougher levels, but just your ship being a giant like block with maxed out armor and 50 guns on the front.
Oh yeah.
So you just obliterate anything in your path and take anything that makes it past your hail of fire.
Also, the gummy ships are one of the more divisive portions of these games, because they're a very like love 'em or hate 'em type situation.
I'm definitely in the love category.
Well, it definitely has its merits, and we can talk about that later. But overall, I just don't know if it was a good use of like development time and resources. But again, your mileage may vary depending on preference. Anyway, so this is our first proper world of Kingdom Hearts. Based on a Disney movie, as you can probably tell, the Alice in Wonderland level.
Was Sterling Holloway the guy who voiced the White Rabbit in the original?
No, I can't remember. I don't know the guy's name, but obviously it's the guy who voiced Smee from Peter Pan. And this is not him, like the one from the original movies. I think.
Pretty sure
I think
he
it's
was
just a
dead in
satellite.
2002. Yeah.
Look at his swagger. I love that. It's so silly to watch him walk.
No, you're simply
Oh yeah, this level makes as much sense platforming-wise as the Alice in Wonderland animated movie from the 50s.
Yeah, it's a bit, it's a bit weird that they chose the like nonsense, like weird ass drug trip world to be the first world of this game, but like,
Yeah.
I suppose
mean, it
that does
sets
kind
the
of fit with
tone.
the theme of, Sora being displaced from his home and going on this wacky ass adventure.
Also, for a bit of context that I don't think we've provided yet, we've played through these games, like a few of the Kingdom Hearts games as a group, and when we do, we watch all of the Disney movies that are in the games, and so...
Including Advent Children.
So I wasn't...
Couldn't
I
forget
wasn't-
that one.
Kingdom Hearts 2.
I wasn't there all those years ago on the night when these fellas watched Alice in Wonderland, but they did not have high opinions of it.
It was awful.
Okay.
It's like the book makes more sense than the movie.
Have you
I
read the
love
book?
the book. Yeah, I've
Oh, really?
read Wonderland and Looking Glass. I love them.
Here's my thing. I think it's got its merits. Like, obviously, it's it's a beautiful movie to look at. The music is real catchy, and I think like the scenes in it are fine. Like, if it was just if it was presented as like a series of shorts, I think it would be a little stronger. But as a whole, I feel like I think Alice is like a likable protagonist to ground the movie, but also there's not enough connective tissue beyond that to really keep you, because like for me the movie doesn't like really get good like as a movie until they get to like the Queen of Hearts.
Yeah.
Well, your problem,
But
Joe,
it actually like grows a story.
is that you just don't understand abstract math. Or maybe you understand abstract math too well.
Well, and like
so-
I get. If
See,
Nick, I don't
my
know where
thing
you're going
is
this
I
with
had-
it, but like I get that it's supposed to be like a weird like, and to be fair, animated movies back in that period kind of had different priorities than modern ones do. Like the storytelling was a lot less like efficient because the novelty of animation kind of carried it a little more. I love, we'll get to it later, but I love Pinocchio, the old Disney version, but there are scenes in that movie where it's just like, let's watch a cat and a fish mess around for a few minutes. It's like not progressing the plot at all.
So the thing about abstract math is to do with why Lewis Carroll wrote Alice in Wonderland, but I'll leave that as an exercise for the viewers to discover more about, because it would take a few minutes to describe it, and I feel
That's
like
the
it's not really
interactive
worth
portion of Gear Check Games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First, we need to understand alternate timelines.
You gotta
See,
align
my
your
thing
QPUs.
is that my thing is that I love like weird experimental stuff, and I had really high hopes of Alice in Wonderland going into it, and I'm like, I've got. It's like not hard for me to at least like enjoy something about a movie. Like usually I find something to take out of it. I watched Alice in Wonderland, and it was one of the very, very rare movies that actually like pained me to watch. Like it would, I could barely keep myself like watching it. I just wanted to turn it off.
So, for my money, Alice in Wonderland is more interesting than Bambi.
Well, yeah, I mean, it
That's-
doesn't take much to be more interesting
That's
than
where I'm
Bambi.
gonna rank it in the old Disney movies. More interesting than Bambi, probably a little bit more entertaining than Snow White.
Bambi's got better music. I'll give it that.
Anyway,
Does it,
he's
though?
not the one you're looking for.
I think it
That's
does.
nonsense. Have you any proof?
You can't tell me that. What's that one about the rain falling?
Oh,
Raindrops keep falling
Well,
on my
Alice in
head.
Wonderland has Walrus and the Carpenter. That's one of my all-time favorites.
Well, to be fair, Walrus and the Carpenter is
Do you
literally
disagree?
just the Lewis. It's just the Lewis Carroll poem put to like a very subtle backing track. Like,
And it's
Wait,
awesome.
was he actually a master of rap? Find out.
Okay, I don't remember. Well, I don't know what version of Alice in Wonderland you've seen, but the one I saw had no rapping in it.
also, Trey, what do you think poems are?
You're right.
What was he
All
doing to
poems are
that?
just slow rap.
Poems are just rap without beats.
You just blew my mind.
Also, we
Honestly, I
should.
feel like the story of the Alice in Wonderland movie would have been leagues better if they just tossed Sora, Donald, and Goofy in there.
Yes.
Like before Kingdom Hearts was even a thing.
Like 40 years before Kingdom Hearts was a conception, when
Yeah.
Their origin
Nomura was
story.
like 3 years old. God, I would have loved
What
it.
if we like they released some like pre-production documents for like these old Disney movies, and then we just saw concept art of like Alpha Sora,
Like those,
for like Alice in Wonderland.
Like the Animaniacs Origins episode where they did like the mockumentary about the origins of the Animaniacs, and they were like in the background of like a bunch of like old like Tex Avery cartoons.
Yes.
They find Walt Disney's hidden study behind the bookshelf, and there's just like documents like, oh yes, before Mickey Mouse and before Oswald the Rabbit, I actually considered making the mascot of my cartoons a small anime child.
Yes.
Well, no, you see, if they did that, they would just find the Sora design from Timeless River in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that one though.
But yeah, anime. Walt Disney created anime, so you know.
So to God. So to bring it back to
His friends knew him
game.
as Weeb Disney.
to bring it back, like, so the plot of this world is the queen wants to literally murder a supporting character.
Oh no, yeah, that's her whole deal. She just wants to murder
And-
everyone.
She
Yeah.
just enjoys murdering people.
Yeah. Remember, this game is rated T for everyone.
Yes.
So she's out to like
It's
blame
rated
her.
T for Trey is playing this one.
Yes.
Also, Trey, it's not worth it to give this flower an ether.
I don't.
You know, okay, it's been
It's
10 years
not
since I
worth
played
it.
this game.
Pe-
We're gonna
people-
find that out here in a second.
People like to crap on this world. I don't hate this world, but I hate that aspect of it. Like
Yeah.
these flowers. There's at least one where you have to give the flower an item in order for it to open the path forward. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like if you don't have that item in your inventory from Traverse Town in the prior parts of the game, and you can't find it in this level, you just gotta go and buy another one.
Well, I think
Or
that
grind for
Especially
that's-
if you're not sure how to like progress through this area, because it doesn't tell you which flowers are
So-
mandatory and which are optional. You
I-
just kind of have to.
I think that the item that you need is in the soldier's drop table, so
Yeah.
you can grind for it here.
Well, you can, but like, I don't know. I remember when I was first figuring out this game. Yeah, this.
I'm trying my best to clip through it, but it ain't working.
I think
Oh, I thought you were trying
actually,
to push it.
I think
Well,
I
well, that too.
remember grinding on soldiers to get the item when I was a youth. I think
It's just a
still-
potion.
Is it a potion? I couldn't
Yeah.
remember if it was a potion or an ether.
Like, the one to progress is a potion.
But how about design a puzzle that doesn't require you to give items to NPCs?
Yeah.
Well, to
Items
be
you can
fair,
only access if you're not in a battle and you've put it on that character.
the flower that the flower that you have to give an item to progress is the only one that actually says what it will do when you give it an item.
Yeah.
The other
Oh,
ones
okay,
just say, "Give me
true.
an item."
Well, that's a
Go,
good
give
point.
me-
But, I mean,
God, it's almost as convoluted as the Under the Well puzzle in Majora's Mask.
oh yeah, that part also sucks.
Yeah.
I'd honestly
that
rather
game,
do
but
this.
Wait, did the
Yeah.
final mix version add a little sprite of the Dalmatians, or was that always in the game?
I think that was always there. It just wasn't as easy to make out with the PS2's resolution.
Yeah. If you played it on a CRT like I did, it was not easy to see.
I played it on a CRT with a VCR attached to it. Like,
Oh my god.
yeah, one of those.
Were you trying to record? This was early Let's Play. You're recording on a VHS.
Well, I actually did that for Super Mario Sunshine, just because I was curious if I could. But no, this was just one of those ones with the inbuilt VCR.
Oh, how I would love to see footage of that muddy game off a grainy VHS.
Hey, that's a nice looking game.
I think I still have that recording in one of my VHS containers here in my
I don't know.
apartment.
I mean, Joe, you can't really deny that Mario Sunshine has a lot of mud in it.
Oh,
This is
no.
true.
Did I leave?
Various
Oh,
colors.
what happened here?
Oh no.
Yes.
Did
Trey,
I
are you
forget?
making biscuits again?
Trey,
Probably-
is this why this episode is 29 minutes?
No,
Oh
this
my
isn't the reason.
No, you're only
There-
gone
there-
for like 10 seconds, I think.
I think so, yeah. Not this day. I was probably like trying to figure out cuz I try not to use guides for games that I've already played, but I'm like, this world is just dumb. I don't know where to go.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like every time I play through this game, I'm never sure when to leave Wonderland, because I like to be thorough and collect all the items I can find. But at the same
Yeah.
time, I always feel like by the time I get to the end, I'm like, aren't there areas I haven't been to yet? Or are those like areas that you can't access until you have abilities that you don't get till later?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Plus, there's a super important item here.
because you need
Yeah.
you need to glide in the Hatter and the March Hare's like tea room.
Oh
To get to
yeah.
one
When
of
you
the
unlock
chests.
Sora's wingsuit.
Yeah.
So I don't want to alarm you guys, but I don't have any potions.
I don't mean to alarm you, but I've been alerted to the presence of a potion or high potion in this house.
Don't worry though. High potions will work.
You sure?
By the
Yes.
way, you did get a potion from that.
I thought you crashed the game for a second.
We'll get him next time.
God.
But yeah, no, you did get a potion from that Trinity Mark. You just
I wasted
immediately
Used
gave it away for a high potion.
See?
Yeah.
You see?
So,
what
as
you
Joe
gotta
said,
do.
we're going back to Traverse Town to
I
buy some
actually
potions.
like the Majora's Mask bottom of the well thing, cause
What's
like,
wrong with you?
well, cause it's like, it's not just like random, like, oh yeah, do you have do you just happen to have like one of these random consumable items that you have to get from a random drop or whatever, or buy? It's like a puzzle where
Yeah.
you start out and you've got to like know where to find those items in the world, but then like as you progress further through the well, you can like pretty much every item that you need to give to a mummy, you can find somewhere in the well.
Right.
Yeah.
Also,
so there's like kind of
I'm sorry.
It's a trading game.
I just want to commend Trey here because, little known fact, that wasn't a fast forward edit. He just turned up the speed on his emulator and he played through.
On his PS4 emulator.
Yeah. Yeah, we all know my laptop can handle it.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, like Joe said, I had to come all the way back, limping back to town to grab some potions. But don't worry, there will be entertainment on the flight back.
God.
see this is where young Dan and his
Noble
eternal
notes.
greed and unwillingness to part with his consumable items really shone. Except for the fact that I was also just really hesitant to part with my items, even for the flowers.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really might need this standard potion when I get to the final
Yeah.
boss.
I mean, you say that, but my little child brain was imagining like a scenario where I got to the final boss and then I got soft locked because I didn't have enough regular potions.
I guess
I'm imagining.
To be fair, I guess in Ocarina of Time you can lock yourself out of beating the final boss if you run out of magic. Why don't you get on?
Oh yeah, but that's because Ocarina of Time sucks. So,
Well, naturally.
Well, but there's also just a bunch of magic pots in the boss arena.
for any viewers, I am joking.
That's right.
Don't worry about it.
Oh,
So I
thank
don't
God.
know if this is if this is just a different model they give you, or if they quite literally size Sora up.
They just
I'm sure it's
scaled the
just
model
scaled up.
It's the same model.
But I've
I
already
think-
done what I'm supposed to do, and I'm just being dumb. I'm like, is there
Honestly, I
anything
think
else?
they might like put you in a different area because like you can interact with different things and not interact with other things.
Yeah, you're right.
That
They
you normally
they
would with
actually
small Sora.
they scale your allies down and put you in a different room.
Yeah,
on second-
I feel like that's probably it.
Yeah, on second thought, it
Because
does.
like if they just
It does seem more logical for them to shrink the room instead of shrinking you, because if they sized up Donald and Goofy, that would also, it was probably easier to just like size them down and like not make them do anything.
yeah.
This is my friend. My name is Sora, and these are my friends, Kaiju Donald and Kaiju Goofy.
Kaijufi?
Kaijufi.
Come on.
Godzilla versus
Dan-
Kaijufi.
You've got to get out of my pun safe, the pun safe that I keep in my brain with all my puns. Because this is like
Donald Droya.
the fifth or
Yeah,
sixth
these are my
time.
friends Goofzilla and Dondra.
Rodon.
Donald.
God. You can conjure wind gusts that can destroy a city.
When are we gonna get Mecha Sora?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
waiting for Space Goofzilla, the one that can summon space ghosts. Not to be confused with Space Ghost. That's very different.
He just summons space ghost.
And then with Max, we get Son of Goofzilla.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, we
is
get
he son of
Extreme
Goofzilla
Goofzilla.
or is he Goofzuki?
Goofzuki.
Depends on which country you're watching in.
So we're
Oh.
finally out of the initial room of Wonderland.
Yeah.
Joe, I don't want to flex on your Godzilla knowledge, but Son of Godzilla and Gadzuki are different characters.
I know they are. But Gadzuki was in an American cartoon, and
That's fair.
obviously Son of Godzilla
So-
was in a Japanese film. So get off my
So
case,
I find
Nick.
it's Godzilla lore aside, I know we've mentioned this outside of this game, but I find it funny that they got the voice of Winnie the Pooh to do Winnie the Pooh later in this game, but they did not get him to also do the Cheshire Cat's lines.
Well, yeah, I wonder if he's because obviously the original voice of Winnie the Pooh and the Cheshire Cat was Sterling Holloway, and typically when they bring back one of the characters he voiced, they get Jim Cummings to do it because he can mimic the voice really well.
He's really good at it.
And
yeah.
I don't know if there's been any like Disney Alice in Wonderland media to feature a voiced Cheshire Cat since Sterling Holloway's
Mickey's
death,
House
but like
of Mouse.
I'm guessing the reason why he doesn't have a voice in this game is because they probably have different voices in Japanese,
Oh, that's true.
and so they didn't want to get that voice actor for such a small character. That's the weird thing to think about, because like what we're looking at
They
is
got Winnie the Pooh to voice the Cheshire Cat in the Japanese version, but not in the not in the American.
well, the
version.
Japanese final mix, which has the English voice acting. That's the weird thing to
Oh,
think about
really?
is
No,
like
he learned how to speak Japanese, so he could voice Japanese Cheshire Cat.
in a lot of cases we're listening to the original / official voices of these characters, but we're also technically watching a dub here because Kingdom Hearts is a Japanese made game.
Yeah.
Like
and
all of
sub
the
is,
original animation and lip syncing would have been done for the Japanese audio track,
the
and
sub
some of
is
it was
better.
redone for the English voices, but
Yeah, so video games are different than anime looping in that you can just change the lip flaps in the
Right.
modeling because you don't have to include both voice tracks on the same same disc.
yes, you
So-
do.
Yeah.
Or well, this both video tracks, I guess.
Goodbye, item drop.
Rest in
Trey,
peace.
no item left behind. What are you doing? Thanks.
Getting a lot of camping sets.
Yeah, in
I
case he
know.
wants to
But
go
you're-
camping.
We're going
Like-
on like a 7-day trip.
Yeah.
Once you get the cure spell in this game, like an MP gift, camping sets and tents are
point of
absolutely
that?
worthless.
Well, yeah, Dan,
Yeah.
haven't you heard the song? It's just a week of rest and relaxation in a
couldn't-
buddy kind of mode.
I forgot. Could you use for some reason I remember as a kid thinking that you could only use like the tents and the camping sets at save points, but like the save points just recover all your stuff anyway.
That was a Final Fantasy thing.
Well, tents in this one, yes, you can only use from save points, but it's useless because you can just heal at any save point.
Yeah, what does the tent even do?
Yeah.
That's
I think
more than just like the save point automatically healing
To
you
tell you the
Yeah.
truth, I don't think
magic
I've
or
ever
whatever.
used a camping set in this game.
I haven't either because I never had a reason to.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
well, so the reason they exist is purely because they're a holdover from the old Final Fantasy games. Because in the
Yeah.
old Final Fantasy games, save points didn't heal you. They
Right.
were just the only place that you could use other than the overworld, that you could use a tent or a cabin or a, mansion. I don't think mansion was ever an item, but that would have been nice.
So
Pocket
what we're seeing
mansion.
here is Trey absolutely wasting a potion because I didn't turn the tree when I was large,
Large.
and I didn't figure that out. That's why this video is so long, because we're just seeing me mess up.
You can make
I don't know why I
that
didn't
jump.
cut this.
This is a
Oh,
pretty
God.
accurate depiction of the Alice in Wonderland movie. Just wandering around aimlessly for an hour straight,
Well, no, you see,
accomplishing
but
nothing until the very end.
Well, you see, but at least in that movie, you're encountering different characters. Here, we're just
Yeah.
going back and forth between the same two. This forest.
But I also
area.
didn't realize. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to
Oh,
interrupt.
it's okay. I have nothing of value to say. Go on.
What I meant to say was, what I didn't realize is that the queen just gives the rest of the evidence. You don't have to collect 5 pieces.
Yeah.
And I thought I had to collect 5 pieces.
So
Yeah,
when
well, the way that it works is that if you pick like the good evidence, then it like shows that the Heartless were behind everything, and then it's like whatever.
And she just
then
disregards
you
it.
fight, then you fight the Heartless or whatever. But then if you pick the bad evidence like that, then it shows you that Donald is the bad guy, and now he can't help you fight the Heartless.
I guess Yen Sid was right. Donald really is predisposed to evil.
I have never had that happen. I don't think I've ever chosen the bad evidence here.
Yeah.
I guess
So,
that's
like, I
not
don't
too
think you even
surprising,
have-
though, given that Donald was a former Nazi.
Yeah.
Oof.
Because I don't think you even have to collect any evidence, but the more evidence you collect, the more you basically get 5 boxes to choose from anyway. But the more evidence you collect, the more of those boxes are going to be good evidence rather than bad
Yeah,
evidence.
the better
just
chance
wanna-
you have of having both of your companions for this battle.
Take a moment
Yeah.
to defend Donald Duck in that while he may have been a Nazi, he also threw tomatoes in Nazis' faces. So, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't remember that cartoon too well.
He's
It wasn't
he's
a
a true
cartoon, it was
Antifa
it was a
hero.
propaganda poster.
All I remember is
Oh, wait,
the,
no,
the,
it
hor-
wasn't.
the horrific stereotype.
No, I think
If
that
you
was
refer
actually
to
the...
Exhibit A, you'll see that my client did in fact Sieg Heil in Der Führer's face.
Yeah. I think it was actually just the poster for that cartoon was Donald throwing a tomato in Der Führer's face.
So this battle, even though you do lose a companion if you do the wrong evidence, it's not hard at all
Yeah.
because your swing is wide enough. You can just hit everything in front of you.
Well, so...
He says as he's about to die.
Yeah, I had to... When I was a kid, I had to do that battle twice. I was really
Man.
close the first time.
You know what one of my favorite features added in Kingdom Hearts 2 was?
What's that?
At the end of a battle, there's like a slow-mo bit where all of the money and health orbs and items, like, get magnetized to you. So you don't have a situation like we just saw there, where you end the battle with a bunch of money laying on the ground, and it just gets completely despawned and you can't collect it.
Yup.
But yeah. I actually didn't know that
never get
about
that
the,
money.
I didn't know you could, collect less than the required amount of evidence and, like, still play that way.
Yeah.
I do like that aspect
It's
of Kingdom
faster.
Hearts. It's something that doesn't get praised a whole lot, but you do really have a lot of choice in these games and a lot of control over your experience.
And not in the way that I find annoying, but that's a whole different video.
We're not getting into that can of worms.
Yeah,
this
we gotta wrap this up.
Yeah. Well, next time, now that we've proven ourselves innocent, well, kind of, and we let the princess get away.
We've
Real,
proven Donald guilty, but destroyed the legal system.
Rightly
Yeah.
so.
real heroes we are. Gosh. So yeah, we'll have to clear everyone's names next episode, but we will see you then.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Yeah.